Welcome back, everyone. We've reached video 8 in our JavaScript series, and this is an important milestone. In the first 7 videos, we've built a strong foundation by covering JavaScript basics. From this point onward, we move into control flow. So, the next, uh, again, 7 to 8 videos will be about control flow. The logic behind decision making, control flow is the logic behind decision making in JavaScript. And in this video, we'll start with if else statements, which are the building blocks of writing smart and dynamic code. Let's start. What is control flow? What control flow means? Control flow refers to the order in which your code runs and how decisions are made while the program is executing. Instead of running every line from top to bottom, control flow allows your program to choose different paths based on conditions. With control flow, your code can run certain code only if a condition is true, and it can run different code when a condition is false, and also make decisions based on user input or data or logic. In JavaScript, if else statements are one of the main ways we control this flow by telling the program what to do and when to do it. Next, why we use if else. Why we use if else in JavaScript? So we use if else statements to make decisions in our code. They allow the program to run differently, in different code depending on different conditions. So with if else statements, we can check whether a condition is true or false, execute only execute code only when a condition is met, and provide alternative actions when the condition is not met. Without if else statements, our code would behave the same way every time, like it would run the same code every single time, all the entire code. Using if else statements make our programs dynamic, logical, and responsive to different situations. So we'll start with syntax of basic if statement. So we'll write the keyword if, we'll open parenthesis, we'll write a condition here, and we'll have curly braces, open and close curly braces. So this is a basic if statement. This is used when you want to run code only if a condition is true. If this condition evaluates to true, the code inside these curly braces executes. If the condition is false, the code is skipped and the program moves to next line, which is line 9 or 10 in this case. So this allows your program to make decisions instead of running the same code every time. So for example, we have we have uh, a print statement, a console log, and we are printing s to the console, right? So we want this to execute if certain condition is true. We want us to say yes, like if you the user, let's say if the user is logged in, we want this yes to be printed if the user is logged in. So if we execute this, no matter what, yeah. So if we execute this, no matter what, yes is printed to the console. But we want only yes to be printed if the condition is true. So we'll put that in an if block. So inside an if block, and now we try to run it. We don't see anything because the condition is set to false. So if we make it true, yes is printed to the console. This way, a code is executed only inside this if block only if the condition is true, and skipped if condition is false. This is the basic syntax of if statement. Now we'll see if else. If else. Okay. So else create a variable. Let's- So this is an if else statement, and this code runs if condition is true, and the else block runs if the condition is false. So this is an if else statement. You'll have the basic if block, but at the end of an if block, you'll write an else block, you'll write an else keyword, and you will create another block with the curly braces. So first the condition inside if statement is checked. So this one is checked, and if it's true, this block is executed. Like so if I write console log statement here, it will print yes. And if it is false, so if it is false, we are saying like if this is true, execute this block. Else, if this is false, like else, in that case, execute this code. So this ensures like one of the two blocks always executes depending on the result of the condition. So right now we have a condition which is set to true. So let's have a console log statement here. Yes, this one it is no. So if the condition is true, yes is printed to the console. If it is false, no is printed to the console. So we'll see. See, condition is set to true, so yes is printed to the console. If condition is false, no is printed to the console. So no matter the result of the no matter the what condition evaluates to either true or false, one of the code block is executed all the time. It's either this one or this one. In if in just the basic if block, only the code is executed when the condition is true. Otherwise, it is skipped. How we'll see how conditions work. How conditions work. Conditions work by evaluating an expression and converting it into a boolean value, which is either true or false. So JavaScript checks for the condition inside the parenthesis, inside these parentheses. If the result is true, the code inside the if block runs, and if the result is false, the else block runs or the code is skipped. So here in this case, else block is run. Here the code is skipped if it is false. These conditions are usually created using comparison operators, logical operators, or values that JavaScript interpret as true or false. So these are values JavaScript interpret as true or false. We'll see comparison operators or logical operators. So let's say we have 5. We are comparing 5 equal to 5. 5. This is strictly equal to. We are comparing this. So if you see here, this 5 equal to 5 equal. This comparison evaluates to true. So if we have this comparison inside our condition, we know that it is going to evaluate to true. So we are trying to run this. Now yes is printed to the console. At the same time, we have another condition. Let's say 4, and if I try to run it, no is printed to the console. Right. No is printed to the console. This is how conditions are evaluated using operators, and also using logical operators. We'll use logical and. In my video operators and expressions, I've explained clearly about these operators. I recommend you, like if you are confused, I recommend you to visit that video. So let's say one is true and one is false. One is false. So this operator is saying that only if both the conditions is true. So only if both the conditions is true, evaluate, run this, else run this. But in this case, one condition is true and one condition is false. So if you try to run this, no is printed. If both are true, yes is printed to the console. This is how an if else block work, and this is how conditions also work. And now we'll discuss about comparison operators. As I said, I've discussed about operators and expressions clearly in my previous videos, so please go watch those videos. I'll just explain briefly in this. uh, so we'll have comparison operators. These operators will evaluate your condition, and these they will like it they will compare two values and evaluate to either true or false always. So we have comparison operators like double equals, triple equals. So this checks for the value but not the type. So if two values are equal, then it will return true. So, and this checks for the type as well, just not just the value. And we have not equal to, and we also have this one. This is again loosely and strictly. And we have greater than or greater than or equal to. Similarly, we have less than or less than or equal to. So if 3 greater than 2 condition is true, it is evaluated. But 3 greater than 3 is evaluated to false. In that case, you can write this 3 greater than or equal to 3, which is again true. So these are the comparison operators. These operators are commonly used inside conditions to control how the program behaves. So please try to remember this, because most of the times, uh, you know, uh, to learn this basic JavaScript, how to write code and everything, you'll use this if else statements a lot. So you're going to use this comparison operators very frequently, like every 5 to 6 programs in every, say, let's say, like you're solving 10 problem statements, you'll use these if else blocks or these comparison operators in almost 70 to 80% of the time, right? And we have logical operators. So logical operators are also, these are used to combine or modify conditions and return a boolean value. So this is just one condition. So this is like this: logical comparison operators can evaluate only one condition. But let's say you have to check for multiple conditions. You have to check. So if this person is a user, you want to check if this person is user, and also you want to check if he's admin or not. Okay, based on this condition, you will evaluate to, I mean, you will know what access to provide him, right? So that time you want to check for two conditions, then you will use logical and so you want him to be a user, and you also want him to be an admin, conditions like that. And so we have, and both should be true. Conditions should be true. We have logical or, one of the conditions should be true. So here here if we are using logical or, even if this is false, even if this is false, this condition, this code is run, because for logical or, at least one of the conditions should be true. So how many possibilities? True here, false here, and or false here, true here, or both conditions are true, right? Three possibilities if you have two conditions. And also we have not. Not is basically reverse of whatever the result you will get. So this result is true if you put if you put not symbol here and exclamation mark. Now this is false and this is also false. So both are false. If I try to run it, no is printed to the console. This is how not works. The next one we have is else if chains. So an else if chain is used when you need to check multiple conditions one after the other. So let's have a syntax like this. Yeah. So this is a syntax for else if uh, else if blocks. Like you'll have multiple conditions to check, and then if none of the condition is true, then you'll have an else block, and this will be executed. So let's see how this is working. So first, the code, when it encounters this block, it will check further. It will check for condition one. Then it will execute this one. It will execute this. And if condition one is false, then it goes to the next condition. It will check for the second condition, and this is executed. If that is also false, then it will go to the next condition, which is condition 3, and this block is executed if it is true. If blocks are only blocks of these code will be executed only if the condition evaluates to true. If nothing is true here, and it will go to the else block, and this code is executed. JavaScript evaluates these conditions from top to bottom, and as soon as it finds a condition that is true, the block of code runs and the remaining conditions are skipped. If none of the conditions are true, the else block runs at the end. This is how else if chain works. Don't worry, we'll see examples for each case as soon as I finish with the explanations. And order of conditions. So in an if else structure, conditions are checked from top to bottom. So if JavaScript starts with the if condition at the top, if it evaluates true, the block runs immediately, and the rest is ignored. So no matter what, no matter how many blocks of code you chain to this if statement. So let's say like I have 10 more if else statements chained to this block of code, but JavaScript when JavaScript encounters this block, it checks for only one condition. Let's say condition 8 is true, so condition 1 is ignored, this block is ignored, every other block is ignored before condition 8. Condition 8 is true, it is executed, and rest of the code is ignored. Be- because of this, the order of condition matters, and more specific conditions should only come before more general ones. Let's see like common example for these. Let's so age, and we want it to be 18, so let's give him 17. So we want to give access only if age is greater than or equal to 18, right? If 18 years or older, we want to give access. If it's not, then we want to deny access. So this condition is this block is saying that if age is greater than or equal to 18, give access. So yes, else deny access, right? So now we have age 17, so we'll see what happens. Up, age is not defined. Wait. Yeah. So no, because age is 17, which is not greater than 18 or equal to 18. If we give this as 18 or some other number and we run it, we run it, now it is saying yes. So this is how this works. And if else condition. So let's say we want we have score which is 95, yes. So if we want to give grades, if score is greater than or equal to 90, we want to give A. If it is greater than or equal to 80, then B, then C. So now we need to observe carefully the order of the conditions we write. So score, score greater than or equal to 90, we will give him A. If score greater than or equal to 80, we'll give him B. And if it is 70, we'll give him C. Otherwise, we'll give him D. Right, less than 70. We'll give him D. Now, let's see the output. So, score is 95, so it is giving A. If I do score is, if I do, let's say 85, 85, now it is B. If I give 65, which is less than 70, it is giving D. Now, why I say order of the conditions matter? Just because we are writing this, like all the conditions here, doesn't mean we can skip, we can write conditions in reverse, or we can write conditions in whichever order we like. Because if we write here 90, if we write here 70, so we are writing all the conditions, right? We are writing all the conditions. So if it is greater than 70, we need to give C, and if it is greater than 90, we need to give A, right? So yeah, this is also, we are writing all the conditions and we are giving the grade according to the score. But why we need to take care about the order, we'll see. So now score is 95. We wrote all the conditions, we wrote the grades accordingly. If it is greater than 90, we need to give A, greater than 70, we need to give C. But we got C because when again first it came to this condition 1 is true, which is 95 is greater than or equal to 70, it gave C, and rest of the code is ignored. Rest of the code is ignored no matter what, if the condition is true, or if, see, because 95 is greater than 80, 95 is greater than 90, every condition is true. But as soon as one condition is true, it evaluates the code in that block, and rest of the code is ignored. That is why you need to check for your condition, for the order of your conditions, right? Now we will see, these are the examples. Now we will see uh, the common mistakes. Okay, one common mistake is confusing assignment with comparison. So which is, this is sorry, this is assignment. This means that you are assigning the value which is on the right hand side to something which is on the left hand side. So this is assignment. So this is not comparison. You are assigning 65 to the variable score, right? So if I write this inside my condition, it won't work. So if I try to run this, it won't work because we are assigning to a constant variable. Oh, that is an error. Also, JavaScript won't allow it. Wait, why did this happen? This is evaluated to true, but this should not. Okay, yeah, we are assigning, but this is evaluated to true, but I'll show you. Yeah, this one. See, 65. This is assigning. Not, we are not comparing it. If we are comparing it, it would either give you true or false, because this is evaluating to 65. 65 here, 65 is a true value, so this condition is evaluated to true. This is evaluated to true, not a condition, but this is evaluated to true. That's why we saw A here. But this, we should not use a single equal. We should use either double equal or triple equal, which compares values. And accidentally using assignment in a condition can cause unexpected behavior, just like before I got A. We discussed common mistakes. We'll also discuss best practices. One of the best practices, writing clear and readable conditions. The condition should be simple and easy to understand. So these are simple and easy to understand. We can write, by using logical operators. We can, if we want to check for multiple conditions, we can write four or five conditions together using and logical and or logical or. In some cases, yes, they are necessary, but most of the times try to make your conditions simple and clear and readable, so it will be easy to understand. If a condition becomes long, like I said, if you have to check for five or four or five things at the same time, uh, try to break them down into smaller checks, and also you try to use variable names, meaningful variable names. And another best practice is proper indentation. So if you see this, my console log is here, right? Like this, my console log is here right now. I need to indent it like this, like so. So use proper indentation so that it will be easier for everyone to read it, and it will be easier for you to read it. So I'll close this. Yeah, this wraps up our introduction to if else statements, and practice them. Practice them. Write try to solve problem statements based on conditionals, based on if else block. Practice them, because if you practice them, you will become more used to writing if else blocks, and more used to understand how these blocks are working. uh, these concepts are fundamental, and you will see them used everywhere as you write more complex logic. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more JavaScript content. In the next video, we'll build on this and explore more control flow concepts with real examples. I'll see you in the next one.